Hi folks, I'm going to make a little dinner here. Hopefully it won't rain. It just finished raining. Got my little stove here. I'm fond of this little stove. I got lots of stoves, but I'm fond of this one because it holds my little cast iron skillet well. It's strong enough to do that, and I can use propane or butane with it, which is kind of handy. Use whatever you got. I'm going to make a very, very simple to make chicken curry. And somebody out there will probably point out that this isn't to hoil, but I don't really care. Getting hot. This really doesn't require much cooking at all. I've got a can of chicken here. So I'm well on the way to meeting the requirements for chicken fried rice. Or rather, chicken curry. I'm not doing fried rice, although I could. It'd be easy enough. And you could use basically the same technique. But to make chicken curry, you need chicken and you need curry. And how much curry powder you need kind of depends. And that's about the right amount. You suit your taste. Something I like to do is I like to add a little turmeric powder. Mostly that just makes it pretty. And that's at least 90% of why I use it. Theoretically, it's supposed to be good for something, but I've never found it very useful for health. At one time, one of the big stores, Costco, used to sell. They'd bring in somebody and they'd have one of these stands set up and they'd sell a little bottle of it. Take a cup of this, and they gave you a little serving cup. Take a cup of this every day, and it'll turn you into Superman, basically, just so it would seem. I'm adding some mushrooms because I like to add mushrooms. I like putting mushrooms in lots of stuff. Not as a meat substitute, but just because I like mushrooms. Turning the fire down just a minute. It needs salt. Gotta have salt. Little bottle. They're really handy. Now, I want those mushrooms to cook just a little bit. And that's the main reason I'm continuing to heat this and not finish it up. Because really all you need to do is make it hot. I'm adding some dried chives just so to have a little onion flavor. I thought that bottle was just about empty. It is almost empty, but apparently there's enough to cook this. It may just be my imagination, but I think these little propane bottles last longer than any of the uh, butane bottles. And these right now I get them at Walmart, and they're still less than $10 for 2 of them. They've been $9 and change for quite a while. And I don't really want one that I refill. I know they sell them now. First they came out with those little adapters so that you could refill them off a 20-pound tank. Everybody said, oh, you'll kill yourself, you'll kill yourself. And then they came out with a bottle that's intended to be refilled. Whether that makes it safe or not, or whether it's unsafe to refill these, I don't know. And I'm not too worried about it because these things are so handy. I can carry 3 of them and know with confidence that I can be gone for a long time and not need to carry around that 20-pound bottle with me. Now, all I'm doing with propane is just cooking. I'm not in boiling water. I'm not trying to heat anything, because one of these little bottles, so if you got one of those little propane heaters that are really popular, those things will go through these in a hurry. So I can see refilling them. But for cooking, there's no need to it. Not in my opinion. Now, those mushrooms are looking adequately cooked. Something that you don't have to have it, but it's just a whole lot better, is if you put some coconut milk into your curry. But most of the time, all you can find are these big cans of coconut milk. And a little thing like this, I need about 1/4 of a can. And I mentioned that to my wife, and she had a little. Well, my daughter had a little resealable carton of coconut milk, which was kind of cool. And I mentioned that to my wife, and she said, well, she had one of those too. And so you could at least reseal it and put it back in the refrigerator. And I would assume you could reuse it as long as you didn't wait very long. Oh yeah. But I mentioned that coconut powder might be kind of cool, because then I wouldn't have to need to worry about throwing away most of the can or keeping anything refrigerated. And so she found this powdered coconut milk. Canned coconut milk is better, but this isn't bad. Yeah. I like the basmati rice. You can cook your own rice if you want, certainly. But I'm looking for super convenience on this. And so I've got rice that I expect most people would put in a nucleator and heat it up that way. But I don't carry one of those. These little cast iron, this has this little thing here, and there's a little pour spout on the side of it. If you line those things up, it'll still steam a little bit, of course, but you don't have a whole lot of escaping. If you turn it like that, you get a little bit of the steam escaping. You won't notice much of a difference on something like this, but I bake bread in this occasionally, and it makes a difference. You want to have it open. You want airflow if you're baking bread. Or I shouldn't say that. I should say you don't want to trap steam. Now all I'm doing is warming this up. Let me see if that little stove's got a name. ODOLAND. There's a Model 1 and a Model 2. I don't know which one I've got. Backpacking or camping. That, I don't know. I hear somebody coming. Road noise. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I'm not putting this directly on my tailgate. I've got a little piece of plywood here. And that kind of protects my tailgate and gives me a more stable surface for my stove. Now that needs just a wee bit of moisture. Getting a little dry. Now, what did I put in here? I put a can of chicken. I put some salt in here. I put some curry powder. And I put some powdered coconut milk and the yellow stuff, what are they called? Turmeric, and rice. And I didn't need to add a lot of water on this because I left the juice in the chicken can. I just dumped that in here with the chicken, so it's that chicken broth is what a lot of the moisture is. Yeah, this is starting to look pretty good because it's I need to get the lid on it. It wanted that water. It's absorbing that water. Even though the rice was already cooked, yeah, it's going to absorb it, I think. And the sauce may thicken up a little bit. So I'm just going to let it heat for just a little bit. Let's see. I put mushrooms in it too, that's right. Oh, and I put the chives. Not PBR this time. It's those little short bottles of Coors Banquet or something like that. That was the cheapest thing in the grocery store. And I haven't had these in years and years and years. I forgot about them. That's actually pretty decent beer. Okay, that water is almost all absorbed. So I can turn the fire off now because I'm cooking with cast iron. And this will continue to cook for another few minutes. The cast iron holds the heat, and so it's going to stay at temperature and for a while. It's going to be too hot to pick that pan up for at least 5 minutes. Oh, that's cook time. But that didn't even hiss when I took that apart that time. But this little thing here screws off, and you're left with this, and that screws into a butane bottle. That's how it's a dual fuel. Anyway, I assure you this is good. I'll have a bite just to prove that I do like it, because it is, well, it doesn't prove I like it. You'll have to take my word for that. It's simple and easy. Hot. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's good. Good.